This video is brought to you by Sim Racing Center. Today, we're going to be showing you the fastest way to tackle this incredible Imola circuit. There are a lot of challenges around one track. You can easily get it wrong here, so watch closely, learn from this video, and you will be able to go quicker and beat your mates around this track. Heading down now in towards turn 1, arriving at 8th gear. It slightly curves to the left, braking down into 5th, take turn 1, 2, a lot of curb on the inside, and then get up into 6th as you go through turn 3. Down into the next corner, throw it in 8th gear, then brake as you straighten the car for the right-hander. Down into 5th, up into 6th gear, and then back down the gears into 3rd for the hairpin. Easy on throttle, the back end wants to step away from you through there as you rise back up the hill now through this challenging left-hander. Up into 7th, dropping it down into 5th gear, attack the left-hand curb, and also on the rise, you head downhill once again into Aqua Mineral. Braking into 4th gear and take all of the curb on the exits. You straighten yourself to get the throttle down into this next chicane, braking hard and take as much curb as you can possibly get away with. Literally ride the curbs on the limit of you crashing or invalidating. That is where you're going to find the best lap time. Heading down the hill once again into the final 2 corners. It's difficult to brake downhill, but you throw it into 4th gear, allow the car to run out as wide as it possibly can. Through the next corner, don't take too much curb on the inside, and then on the throttle, and that is a lap of Imola. Very fast lap, thankfully not done by myself, done by the guys over at Sim Racing Center, because they're a lot quicker than I am. But we're going to break this down now, pick out the braking zones and talk through it properly. So heading down in towards turn 1. Like I said, it curves a little bit to the left-hand side, so you want to brake hard just after the 100-meter board, get the car straightened up, and then use the curb on the left-hand side. Don't use the yellow, go up to about where the red is on the curbing, and then throw the car through the next couple of corners. Be easy on power to not lose the back end, but everything seems to be nice and fine. Through this next corner, this is weird. You've got to absolutely throw it through the left-hand and then get the car straight and pointed in the direction of the apex. Once you pass the first corner, then you start to get onto the brakes, drop it down into 5th gear, use all the curb on the outside, don't want to extend anymore because you will be in the gravel and you will lose a lot of time. Now heading into the hairpin, braking just after the 50-meter board here, arriving from about 6th gear, and then you'll be dropping it all the way down into 3rd. Hug it tightly on the apex and allow the car to run out wide. You can use the curb on the outside if you want to, but if you can use the tarmac, it's going to be even better for you. Braking now after the 50-meter board, you arrive in 7th gear. You're going to drop it down a couple of gears now and just really throw the car in through the left. Use all that curb on the left-hand side. Don't use the yellow parts again, but use all the way up to the red on the curbing. Heading down into Aqua Mineral, another corner where you want to try and get the car as straight as you possibly can before braking. Luckily, you have this nice curb on the left-hand side that you can get the car straightened through there on the brake. 7th gear, down into 4th, clip the apex on the right, and again, using all that curb on the left-hand side to maximize the traction out of the corner. Braking here now at about the 50-meter board as you send it in towards the next chicane. As I said earlier, really attack the curbing because that is where you're going to find the time. Over both parts of the yellow curb on this one. Of course, if you do take too much, you are going to invalidate your lap. So it is all about walking that very fine line between maximizing all the lap time and throwing your lap away. Heading now downhill, braking between the 100 and the 50-meter board. You're heading downhill, so it is more difficult to brake through here, but braking hard and use all the curb on the inside. Allow the car to run out wide as well. A little lift of the throttle through the left hand of the last corner, but back on the power, and that is a lap of Imola. Before we get into the setup, let's have a little word about our sponsors, Sim Racing Center. Sim Racing Center offers the best and latest F1 22 league racing setups to make sure your car is running as fast as it can. Combined with the race preparations they sell, which shows tire data, the best strategy, and a lot more to ensure you will slap the competition and be on top of your game. With these products, all you need to do is focus on your driving. If that's something you struggle with though, get a one-to-one coaching session with esports or eSport Academy drivers. Sim Racing Center also offers race engineers like you have seen on the League Racing series that I run on this channel, who will help you live during the race with your best strategy. Now, this is a company that I use for all of my setups. When it comes to setting up the car, I'm absolutely clueless. So these guys point me in the right direction to go as fast as I possibly can. And if you want to stay up to date with the best setups, make sure you use the code Hayden at checkout for 10% off. Let's let's take a little look then at the setup that is going to make you even faster around this circuit. Starting off with the wings, you want to be running front wing aero 33 and rear wing aero 25. Now, this is just going to give you a bit more turning through the corners. You are going to lose a little bit of drag on the straights. There might be some people you'll race against that might have a little bit more aero down the straights, but it just means you're going to be so much quicker through the corners. It does make overtaking a bit more difficult around here because overtaking, of course, there's not really too many opportunities around Imola, but if you do get a chance, especially with your greater grip that you're going to have through the corners, then maximize that and absolutely send it. Moving into the transmission now, and we're going to be running this time around 60% on the on throttle and 50% on the off. So that's just going to try and reduce the amount of rear tire spin that you're going to have. It's very easy on this game to spin up the rears, lose the back end, and be facing the wrong way. So if you're running a lower differential, it's going to be easier for you to get your foot on the throttle earlier and really maximize the traction out of the corners. Onto the suspension geometry, front camber all the way to the right, rear camber also max all the way to the right, and then front toe and rear toe all the way to the left. So very similar to what we had in Saudi Arabia. A little bit different to what we had last year, where it was just the front camber that was all the way to the right and everything else was to the left, but that is what you're going to be wanting to run. And then also we're going to have a look at the suspension. And on the suspension, we're going front suspension 1, rear suspension 3, front anti-roll bar is going to be 1, with rear anti-roll bar 5. And then we've got the front ride height at 4 and rear ride height at 5 for the suspension. Moving on to the brakes, and this is just the meta bog standard, 100% brake pressure, 50% on the front brake bias. Nothing really to change about that one. Always want to have that, and same with the tire pressures as well. 23.8 on the fronts and 23.0 max on the rear tires, and that is going to be the setup for this Imola circuit. Big thank you to our sponsors, Sim Racing Centre, for sending us over the Hotlap and the setup. And remember, go check them out in the link in the description and use the code Hayden for 10% off any of your orders. Make sure you subscribe for more Hotlaps, more top tips, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.